right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking around. I am so sorry. I am looking forward for the day when I won't have this drama to deal with. But when we look back, always is, when you look historically at anything and you look back at the first time you did it and, those new beginnings, you can always look back and laugh at yourself and say, wow, this is what I went through, right? Yes, so oh my God, life is no exception, right? So as you know by now, I'm using my data plan. And of course, like I said, it's 4G. And this is what is happening with 4G, right? So of course they're looking for every way to bring in 5G. So all of these things are happening. I'm not surprised at all. Yeah, are you? You shouldn't be. By now you should understand how these people work, right? They like to work on our minds. Absolutely. So I was giving you a recap of the news, right? And I was saying to you before we got cut off, sorry about that again, that the Jamaica Consular Force, the JCF, they're advising the public that persons who have information concerning those passengers, remember those passengers who came into the island on March 18th through the 23rd, and you already know my views on that. And if you don't know, go back, subscribe, and go back and look at some of my previous episodes where you will get my feedback on that particular situation, right? So they're still looking for them, and so now the police are now asking persons who have information to come forward. Now, they know that you might not want to be classified as a snitch, right? Or an informer. So they're saying you can do it discreetly. Their words, discreetly. You can do it discreetly. And they've given us some numbers to call the JCF Command Center. The numbers to call 876-702-5106 or 876-702-5103 with information concerning these persons. Guys, remember that according to the Disaster Risk Management Act, you can be charged up to $1 million or 1 year in prison if you do not come forward, okay? And if you're convicted, because you will go to court. And remember, court is in session for those cases right now. Courts are closed for civil cases, right? But they're open for these kind of cases. So you will be charged, okay? And if you're convicted, you could spend a year in prison, okay? So persons are asked to step forward. All right. Continuing. Miss World. Remember Miss World? Tony and Singh? Yeah, beautiful girl. Yes. From St. Thomas, right? Yes. When she was forced to go back home. Her home base is actually in Florida. Yeah. And because of the COVID-19, she basically has gone back to Florida. So she was speaking with the Jamaica Observer concerning, what's her position on COVID-19 and how was it affecting her reign. And she said basically that she was forced to return to her home base, but she is using this period to make valuable connections. She's making valuable connections. Lord, please bring back the connection. Mm, Lord. Thank you. You're back. Okay, awesome. To continue, wow, I'm telling you, this connection is something else, isn't it? Yeah, it just keeps fluctuating, going up and down, right? So stick around, and thank you for sticking around. So I was saying to you that Julia Morley, she is the CEO for the Miss World contest. So she is planning to do it digitally. She's planning to do the project digitally, right? You got to say when life gives you lemons, what do? You make lemonade, right? She said the Miss World is already 4 months. Miss World is already 4 months into her reign and has had her plans halted due to global restrictions on travel. So you might have to do it digitally, yeah? Okay, and then you got to hear this one. I mean, really? 7 correctional officers were injured in a scuffle between inmates and wardens at the Richmond Farm Adult Correctional Facility in St. Mary. Yes, St. Mary, Jamaica. According to the Gleaner article that I was reading, they said um the minister without portfolio in the Ministry of National Security, that is Mr. Matthew Samuda, he confirmed this incident. He said it did occur. However, he said it had been brought under control, and I'm going to quote him now. He says, strict measures will be put in place to ensure that there is no opportunity for a recurrence. We're reactive as always, not very proactive. We're very reactive, so we always react after something happens, don't it? Anyways, they're going to put some strict measures in place to prevent this from recurring. It is understood that one officer was stabbed in the back and reportedly received 5 stitches when he was rushed to the hospital. This is a developing story, so you're going to hear more about it during the upcoming week, yeah? And local scientist, Dr. Henry Lowe, who remember Dr. Lowe? Yes, Dr. Henry Lowe, he is awaiting an approval of a patent for a cannabis-based drug that could be the remedy for COVID-19. Cannabis, guys, ganja we're talking about, right? AKA ganja, AKA marijuana, yeah? Like Americans, they call it cannabis, yeah? Same thing. Okay, so, they say it's a cure-all. It cures everything. Personally, I don't believe it. Of course, Bob Marley used to smoke it like it was his food. Everybody knows that. Bob Marley smoked cannabis like it was food. And he still died from cancer, didn't he? Okay. But they say they have studies to show otherwise. And who am I to judge? I do not judge. All right? But I'm going to give you my 2 cents on everything. Right? So anyways, according to the article that I was reading, it says, Lowe and other partners on the project, they previously received positive feedback that indicated that the cannabis drug was effective against other coronaviruses. So that they say this is a strain of the coronavirus, right? And so the common cold is a coronavirus, right? So in the past, they have done treatments and it has been very effective against other members of the coronavirus family. So it is with that in mind that they think that it could help, right? This COVID-19. And he has treatments wherein to treat things like glaucoma, right? And nearsightedness. As a matter of fact, he has received a patent from the U.S. Patent Office to that regard. So it's not. Don't take it light, right? However, no, he has to wait. They say for a couple of weeks to find out whether or not the cannabis is effective against COVID-19. So we're waiting on that to hear. That's a developing story. I'll have more for you. As I get that information, I'll pass it on to you, my viewers. And in international news, Haiti, our neighbor Haiti, have reported their first COVID-19 death. Unfortunately, one person has died from COVID-19 in Haiti, and this person was a 55-year-old male with underlying conditions. That's part of the thing, most persons who are dying from it, they have underlying conditions. Most of them, not all, but most of them have underlying conditions. He was hypertensive and he was diabetic. He had diabetes and hypertension. Okay. And out of the 3 million people that are in Haiti, that big country only has 3 million people, can you believe it? Yeah, out of the 3 million people that is in Haiti, only 21 confirmed cases of the COVID-19. And some good news, UK, the United Kingdom Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, he has COVID-19. He is in high spirits after a comfortable night at the hospital, right? Great, it is back. This unstable internet. Thank you, Lord, it is back. Okay, so continuing, as I was saying to you, that the Prime Minister is stable and he's in good spirits, right? And even while they were doing that, the Queen, she was giving her address to the nation yesterday. Don't know how many of you heard it, but if you did not hear the speech, it is on YouTube. You can always do a search and listen to the Queen's speech. But I will give you a little part of it, what she said, a part of her message. She said, I hope in the years to come, everyone will be able to take pride in how they responded to this challenge. And those who come after us will say the Brightons of this generation were as strong as any. She said some more things. Then she said, the pride in who we are is not a part of our past. It defines our present and our future. Well said, Queen Elizabeth. 90-year-old woman, you know, so she look good. I'm telling you, I hope when I'm that age, I look that well. And I don't know, I saw Lady Dawkins online earlier on. And hi, Lady Dawkins, I hope you're still on. I don't know if you're on because I can't see who is on when I'm on, but I hope you are on. Again, I apologize for the break in transmission, which you know is due to Flow's data. Okay, but welcome everybody to the program. Okay, remember to share, like, share. Okay, thank you for the likes, thank you for the shares, and subscribe so you are always notified by YouTube when I'm live. So even if we got disconnected, if you subscribe, when I'm live again, YouTube will tell you that I'm back on. Yeah. Okay. Okay, and continuing with the international news, another cruise ship with passengers who tested positive for COVID-19, they docked in Florida on Saturday. Okay, according to the spokesperson for the Princess Cruises. Okay, Negin Kamali, the Coral Princess, this is the ship that docked, had 1,020 passengers and 878 crew members on board, right? They have been in limbo for days. They were out there in the sea, not knowing what to do, waiting for permission to land, right? Because they had two persons who died were on the ship. You can imagine they had dead people on the ship, and the ship is out there, can't dock. Right? So finally, they got permission to dock, so they docked. And but that was Saturday. While Friday, two other ships were able to dock. The Zandam and the Rotterdam, they had received permission to dock, and so they docked at Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale, right? They had 14 critically ill, and those 14 critically ill were taken to the hospital as soon as the ship docked. It's a developing story, so we will have more for you during the coming week. Yeah. Okay. So that was it basically with regard to um, the news. My guest, as I have a guest who is supposed to be coming on. My guest is supposed to be coming on any minute now, and so I am hoping that my guest will call. And if you're listening to me, now is a good time to call. Yes, you can call now. Okay. Uh, as soon as he calls, I will do the introduction. Right. So if you're listening to me, you can call in now. Now is a good time to call in. All right. Because I can't check my WhatsApp. If I check my WhatsApp, I might lose my YouTube feed, and I can't afford to lose my YouTube feed. So I'm not checking WhatsApp. Okay, so if you're calling me on WhatsApp, don't please, as I'm not checking it. Just call me on the calling number, okay, and let's have a chat. All right. Okay. So while we're waiting for my guest to call in, right, I want to play something for you. I want you to listen to something, okay? I want you to listen to something. This is actually something I've been listening to. And you know me, I don't spread fake news, right? And I try to vet my things before I give you information. I vet them because I want to ensure that my viewers are getting the truth, that they're getting accurate information. And I get a lot of information, okay, as you can imagine, right? And I read a lot, and I watch a lot, and I see a lot. But I read and I weigh, and I use the brain that God gives me to weigh the pros and cons of whatever it is that I see, because we already know that what's in the news, 95% is false. Only 5% is true. We know that, right? Okay. But we also know that in every lie there's an ounce of truth. So we look to find what that truth is, right? And we try to put the things together. And that's what news reporters are supposed to do, right? That's what journalists are supposed to do. We're supposed to be objective, and we're supposed to give accurate information. Sadly, in this 21st century, in this age of information, we're in the information age, unfortunately, our journalists are not doing that. They're very biased, and they are very, they're very subjective in the broadcasting of news, which is not supposed to be. We're supposed to be objective. Anyway, it is what it is. So I know I'm here to to okay. Yes, as I told you before, that I have my theory about this coronavirus disease, and I found out that there are other persons who have similar theory to mine. So one such person is the scientist, and I'm going to play a little of what he says for you to hear, because I could not explain the 5G as well as he will explain the 5G to you. So just listen to this and we'll have a conversation. We probably won't be able to talk about it today, but maybe tomorrow we'll talk some more about it, right? Before our guest comes on tomorrow. But I wanted to listen to this, guys. Listen to this very carefully.
Let's jump into what's really occurring with coronavirus. This is going to be difficult for people to accept, but let me tell you categorically, factually, and scientifically, coronavirus is not the problem. It is questionable whether it is even a contagion in the context of a disease that is spreading from person to person. What we're seeing are symptoms of a virus. What we are not aware of what's causing those symptoms. So this has nothing to do with a biological warfare or any other kind of stuff that you might be hearing swirling around on the internet. What this is our bodies reacting to what is known as radio spectrum radiation or radio frequency radiation. And so I know that sounds bizarre, but let me tell you scientifically what is happening, and then I'll tell you contextually why it's happening, and I'll tell you what we can do about it. So what is occurring globally, I was the head of the largest business unit at Vodafone, their headquarters in Newbury, between 2013 through 2015. I was privy to a number of the new technologies that were coming down the pipe that was going to be implemented, namely the Internet of Things, and secondly, the 5G technology. I knew a long time ago that 5G was dangerous, but I didn't understand the correlation with the coronavirus, which I now do, and I want to be able to explain that to you. So what is happening? There is a deliberate strategy to roll out 5G, which is the fifth generation internet radio spectrum frequencies that enable mobile phones, smartphones, and all devices to function on a much faster processing ability. And with the introduction of AI and artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things, where all devices will be connected, so whether it's your car, whether it's your phone, whether it's your refrigerator, whether it's your electricity in your house, it's all going to be on a smart grid, effectively a type of matrix, unfortunately. Sorry to use that term. So what is happening is that this technology has to be rolled out globally. My company that I used to work for, as they're running their largest worldwide business unit, is Vodafone.
The whistleblower here, guys.
With Huawei or Huawei, whatever you call them, the Chinese
Huawei.
telecoms company.
Talking about Huawei.